What's up everybody, man back, welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla vs. Kong. Bet you didn't see that coming, other than if you read the title or looked at the thumbnail. Godzilla vs. Kong Playmates figure unboxing. Yeah, there's still some of these left that I never checked out and reviewed. So in this one, we are going to be reviewing the Battle Roaring Mechagodzilla. Is it too late for people to care? You guys, my channel's already dead. The analytics are gone. You know, we're in the tanks right now, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Here is the Mechagodzilla 2021. Let's do it. Starting out, man, I love these MonsterVerse box arts. They're so cool. I've praised these things a ton. You got Kong and Mechagodzilla, Ghidorah, Godzilla. They just look so slick. Mechagodzilla down there, pretty cool. It's on the side, MonsterVerse logo, and then hyping up the battle roaring battle between Godzilla and Mechagodzilla on the back. Cool stuff. And that's all you need to know for the box, so let's get this bad boy out. It's kind of blowing my mind to think about because there was a time when I was catching up and I was actually going to be able to review all the GVK figures I own, and I was going to be all caught up to date, and I was checking out the Mechagodzillas for the first time, and that was like 1 year ago already, or maybe over a year ago, but that's wild. Anyways, let's give it the old tail test. I don't remember how well these ones go on, but this one seems probably different than the original. This one's a little harder. I don't remember the original putting up too much fuss. This one was a little hard to get on, I'd say. If you're on the younger side, you're going to need some help. Other than that, it's you can just pop it on there. And there he is. The thing that's immediately standing out to me is that it's a lot stiffer than the original Mechagodzilla that they released, especially in the tail, but there he is. God, I love when you can wag the tails, man. I love when the plastic is loose enough to let you do that. Oh, hello. He decided to give a little hello there. He's actually really quiet. Maybe it's because the batteries are old, so they're getting quiet. I don't think so, though, because Godzilla and Kong still sound good, so I think it's just that he's a little bit quiet. This is so weird. This is so strange because they have gone out of their way to limit their articulation. I guess I'll talk about that in the articulation section, but there is some really strange choices they've made to a design that is so perfect for toys. Well, starting out, the sculpt looks pretty good. It's pretty much the same as the standard Playmates Mechagodzilla sculpt, and that's to say, not 100% movie accurate, looking a little more concept arty, but also not inaccurate to the movie either. It's just not as intricate as the movie's design, which is okay because the movie's Mechagodzilla is the most over-designed Mechagodzilla aside from the anime one. There's just a lot of moving parts on that one, and so it makes sense that you're going to get a figure like this that doesn't exactly capture all of those details absolutely perfectly, and that's alright. It gets the general gist of it. He's a little bulkier than Mechagodzilla in the movie, but they do still have some details I really like. For instance, I think the legs look really good. I like the paneling on them especially, and particularly I like the bottom paneling, the one that's a little looser and that you can peel back a little bit, as you can see. That looks pretty solid to me. The X's on there look good. Going up into the side of the body, I like the rib cage. That's looking pretty awesome. The missile silo's looking great. Of course, that's actually what you press to make him roar. The arms look good. The shoulder pads look awesome. I like that they can flap up. The arms look pretty cool. Big, bulky. I like the top of the arm a little more. The hands are cool as well. Nice wide grip there. And then the face looks alright. I've never been the biggest fan of this Mechagodzilla's face, just in general, period. But the face looks pretty good. The face does particularly look like the concept art. The front of Mechagodzilla I actually think looks a little better than the sides. He's got some good detailing. I like the rib pieces on the front, and then the way you go down into the bottom of it, it looks really good. Nice spines on the back there, and then it goes into the tail piece, which looks awesome. It's got those sectioned out pieces, the spines on top, spines on bottom, and then of course the little buzzsaw thingy drill thing on the tip there that spins around and almost stabs Kong in the eye. And that's the Mechagodzilla sculpt. I think it's pretty solid. As far as the paint goes, he is a base silver overall that looks pretty good. It actually looks pretty good. It's more of gray than silver, but it looks pretty good overall. He's got beady little red eyes, which is nice. He's got the nice red spines, which give a really good contrast to the gray. And then there are some red parts on the chest, which I appreciate them having painted in. Of course, one of my critiques of the original release of Mechagodzilla was that I felt they could have gone further with those gray pieces in the chest, and they have gone a little further answer here now that there is no battle damage accessory. Instead of a battle damage accessory, that's where you unscrew Mechagodzilla to put the batteries in. And then while we're on that topic, on this side of Mechagodzilla, the side that I haven't been holding towards the camera, that's where all the screws live. I don't understand why they don't cover the screws up. It's just not that hard. As for articulation, you've got the tail. Wah, wah, full swing of the tail there, and then it is flexible enough to be able to be played with. Legs can kick out and go all the way back. They can spin actually almost all the way around. They bump into the sculpt there, but theoretically they can spin all the way around. They have the capability to. They're just gonna bump into the sculpt. The feet can turn side to side. The arms can go up and down, and then the mouth can open and close. The thing I was saying was weird is that they have limited some of the articulation in that the knee joints, there's no real reason for them not to articulate. In fact, this one's kind of loose and wobbly. Same with the elbows. There's no real reason the elbows wouldn't be able to articulate, especially because that's just technology we know they have. That's what they've given the smaller regular Mechagodzilla that isn't the battle roaring one. So it's weird that they limit it here. And the hands, like, yeah, the hands should be able to spin and clamp. I just don't get why they wouldn't have included that. All right, let's hear it. He is so quiet. Cool Mechagodzilla roar. Okay, just some random sound effect. I would have liked if they give him his little laugh, you know. Bang, bang, bang. That little laugh that he does right at Godzilla. That's a cool noise. Is that a third sound effect? 3 sound effects, that's pretty neat. They stopped doing that. Didn't they eventually just start doing 2 on these Playmates Battle Roaring ones? I like that he's got 3. It's 3 different sound effects. They all sound pretty neat. It is weird because you press the trigger and nothing happens. It's only upon releasing the trigger, which is this thing, that he starts to make a noise. He unfortunately is just really quiet compared to his counterparts, as we're about to find out. So there's the standard Playmates Mechagodzilla. You can see the Battle Roaring one is considerably taller than it. This one is so loose with its joints that whenever you try and make the normal Mechagodzilla stand, he kind of squats and kind of collapses into the ground a little bit. So this one at least is sturdier. The Battle Roaring one is sturdier than the original. The original has more articulation. It is a smaller figure, and I think if I was to recommend one over the other, I would recommend the original, although I will say the new one has better detailing, especially in the face. They've actually done a really good job bringing out the details of Mechagodzilla in the face, the missile launchers, the arms overall, the sculpt on this new one. The sculpt on the Battle Roaring one, I would say, is generally considerably better than the sculpt on the smaller one, with the exception of maybe the chest piece looks a little more intricate on the smaller one. And then it depends on what scale you prefer to play with, I guess, or display. They'll go probably next to each other on mine. Okay, here's the guys. Let's get Battle Roaring Godzilla versus Battle Roaring Mechagodzilla. Mechagodzilla is gonna be so quiet. You like you cannot even hear Mechagodzilla. I love the smackdown Mechagodzilla puts on Godzilla in that movie. That's good stuff, man. There they are next to each other. Similar scale. Godzilla's looking to the sky like an idiot. He is looking away from the battle for some reason. Mechagodzilla's gonna get the upper hand on him just because of that. They're in a similar scale, but I'd say Mechagodzilla is a much more imposing figure, which is pretty neat. Here's the Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong, the Battle Roaring Kong. I kind of forgot how bad he looks, but there they are next to each other. Victory for the king! Yeah! Thank you, Kong. There they are. This is I would say, a much cooler matchup, if nothing else than just because Kong's actually looking in the right direction, and he can throw some punches and get some good hits in with Mechagodzilla. There they are, about the same size, pretty neat. Let's give Godzilla a bit more of a fighting chance, shall we? The Evolved Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. As many people pointed out, they're both designed by Jared Krzyzewski and both feature very similar proportions, sunk in and around the chest, a little skinnier with longer arms, more combat ready than we've seen them before, and of course the red spines on both, although this guy's spines in the film are pink. Alright, Mechagodzilla, you're not going to be able to compete with the sound here. Could you tell Mechagodzilla was roaring? Because he actually was. Now this is a fight I would love to see. The 2 more physical combat versions of each other. Get him, Godzilla, get him! These guys are the same size. Godzilla's mostly looking in the right direction. This is a better matchup. They look like they were meant to be matched up. This Mechagodzilla looks like the Mechagodzilla that would go with this Godzilla more so than the 2021 Godzilla, and that's cool to me. This would have been an awesome matchup as a kid. So even though this figure's been out for a long time, if you don't have it and you have the evolved battle roaring Godzilla, I would recommend go pick up that Mechagodzilla, if nothing else than just to complete this matchup, because it's awesome. And that's my thoughts on the Playmates Mechagodzilla 2021 Battle Roaring version. If I had to rate this guy, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think they could have gone further with the articulation, and he is a little stiff for his own good, as well as whatever's going on with this knee, which feels like a mistake, like it's gonna break. And then just because he's so quiet, which is maybe a batteries issue, but I don't know. All the other Battle Roaring figures still hold up with their audio. I don't know why he is so quiet. I'm gonna give this guy a whatever I said out of 10. I think I said a 7 out of 10. My ratings are so arbitrary. I think it's a good figure. I would recommend it, but I wouldn't say go super far out of your way to hunt this thing down. If you missed it, it's not the end of the world, but I would recommend going and picking it up if you do come across it. Sometimes I still see these Godzilla vs. Kong figures in stores. If you see this one, maybe pick it up. All right, thank you guys all for watching. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons over on Patreon. It is through the support of the patrons on Patreon that I'm able to make videos like this for you in the first place. If you want to support the Patreon, you can use the link in the description below, where you can get early access to content, access to the Discord community, and more. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.